Alright, here's a sharpshooter, and I'm going to review how it works in conjunction with Socom 4. Now if you notice right here, we have a switch for single shot, semi-automatic and fully automatic. It just switches like that for you. You'll notice there's a lock button here. What that lock button does is it locks out the move button. Right here's the move button. This is the button that they have mapped right now for grenades. You can unlock it, it pushes in. You can lock it, it's really very sturdy. You have your trigger. Also you have square and triangle right here. Now this is both on the left side and on the right side of the gun. So for us left-handed people, you'll be happy to know that you have access to that no matter what. Same thing, the lock button and the firing mode switch. Underneath the gun, we have the reload. This is where when you meet up with a weapon cache, you can reload. Also, here's a general reload. If you see how that pushes in, compresses right there, this will reload your clip when you're in game. This button right here is just to release the shell, and when you pull on it, it releases this, which is going to hold your PlayStation Move controller. And then you have the adjustable stock, which on the fly, you push it in, and it slides down. See how they made it slide very easily? Or if you're sitting in your shoulder position and you need to snap it out real quick, you can just pull it out to get a good sniper shot in right there. I counted up the buttons. Because you'll have the move right here and access to the buttons on the, or the navigation controller right here and access to the buttons on the navigation controller, you actually end up with 2 extra buttons. Also, you have your select button right here, or actually, let's see if the camera will pick it up, select right there. And on the other side of the controller, you have your start button. Here's your X and your O. X and O on your D-pad and your walking stick. Under your trigger, see here's the trigger, is actually your move button. It also appears that right here on the top of the gun, they actually gave us a plastic piece to put the sight or scope onto. Now I've already removed this plastic piece. There's nothing under there but a plate. There's no sense of removing it. There's actually a tab over here that'll break off and a tab over here that'll break off if you don't loosen up the screws. Also, if you notice, I modded this gun slightly. Basically, I painted the hand grip right there, which kind of gives it a general cool look. And I modded this so I get my thumb in there. We'll give you a different point of view. That originally looked like this, but that's now been modded. Be careful when you mod it. I didn't mind putting the hole in the switch there. I wish I could have went without that. That plastic is very thin, but you can see you can get it fairly deep. I just got a little too deep. It's not a big deal. They're $39. I'll go buy another one if it ever becomes a problem. Here's the move in the navigation controller. First I'm going to snap in the navigation controller. There's actually 2 pins inside here, one right here and one right here, that goes into the bottom of your navigation controller to keep your navigation controller in place. I'll snap it in real quick, like that. Just snap that piece down. Or grab the PlayStation Move. That also has the same 2 pins, and then in the bottom of the actual Move controller. Slides on there. Fits in there very easily, and that's snapped in there also. The reason why I chose this gun over the battle rifle by Icon and the CTA submachine gun is I watched some reviews, listened to some reviews, and a lot of people say that the plastic is kind of flimsy. I know there'll be lots of gameplay, I didn't want to deal with that. The plastic on this gun is actually pretty sturdy. Something that I'm not going to break. This is probably the weakest part of it, which is the butt, which of course because it comes out so deep here. But that's still nothing I'm really worried about. I'm still debating on whether or not I should take the butt off of my gun for other reasons that I'll explain. Now what I like about the design of the CTA and the battle rifle is the navigation controller snaps back here. However, both designs are lacking in overall buttons and control as far as being able to play the buttons during the game. And also they both seem to be cheaply made. However, one thing I really liked about it is that they were designed, like I said, with a navigation controller back here, which would really fit in nicely for us left-handers. That way we can still walk with the left stick, like with our left hand, like we've been doing for all these years, without having to convert over to using your right hand. If you're left-handed, this will be in your left shoulder. It forces you to walk with your right hand. However, note to all of you left-handers, I actually was able to adjust to walking with my right hand within 3 days. So, I really want to over concern yourself with that. They put buttons up here on the opposite side for you to control with your left hand. It works out perfect that it's almost more enjoyable being able to walk with your right hand and throw the gun in your left shoulder and not have to worry about both playing the trigger and the stick at the same time. I really don't think I would like having to play both of these at the same time. I'd rather move here while I'm shooting here and aiming with my left. Alright, now we're going to go over the functionality of the buttons. I'm a left-hander, so I'm going to hold in my left hand. It really doesn't matter either way. First off, I'll start over here. We got shoot, of course, on the trigger. They have the move button right here, which is underneath the trigger, as your grenades. You can lock it, of course, in case you accidentally hit it. Right here, of course, is a switch. You can see I'm switching it over here with my left hand, which if you see earlier in the video, I modded this so my thumb could really fit in this groove. So, of course, we have automatic, semi-automatic, single shot. You can get back and forth between that, which is nice. Of course, this slides out, lets you get into your sniper mode. And that way you can switch it down quickly, pop, pop, pop. You can move it up, push down on the thing, you're back to your normal stance. They have square right now as weapon swap. Triangle is going to be the jump button. When you hold weapon swap, you can of course either swap between your grenades, your secondary, or you can swap between your primary and secondary gun. Also, this is going to be your reload, which I really love that feature. I find myself reloading frequently. It works out great there. My walking stick is right here. I have the X and the O button. X is to prone, lay down, kneel, stand up. The O button is going to be to cover, snap into cover. And of course, after you snap into cover, you can push up to look up out of your cover, go back down. You can push left to look around the box you're under cover or the wall. And then you have the L1 or R1 button here, just depending on what point of view you're looking at from. This will actually zoom in to aim. This will be your aim mode. And then if you click as you're zoomed in, it will put you inside your scope. And then, of course, you have the reload button, which this reload button is different than this reload button. This is to reload your clip. This is to find a weapons cache and reload your stock that you're carrying. Also, you're going to have your select button right here, and on the opposite side, you're going to have your start button. All in all, it's mapped out really well. I figured out that you have a couple extra. I have a normal controller here, and I'm going to show you how you have a couple extra buttons here. Let's look at that half of the controller. That is all going to be right here. Your L1, your L2, your walking stick. You have your D-pad right here, which covers that whole entire half. And also, you can push in on the L3 or R3 button. Now, for the other half of the controller, you have your X. You have your X, your O, your square, your triangle, your R1 and your R2, and your R3. X is here. O is also here on the opposite side. Your trigger would assume for R1. We'll say the move button down here is going to be R2. That covers everything. Now your walking stick on that side is going to, of course, be your movement. This is how you look left to right. That's going to be your walking stick. So we have triangle, square, X, O, the walking stick, R1, R2. Here's your extra button right here. Here's your second extra button. And here's your third extra button. So that's the great thing about this. You will have a tactical advantage using this gun. The look and the feel of it. I really like the look and the feel. At first, it took a couple days to get adjusted to it. I started walking since I'm left-handed with my right hand. That took a couple days to get adjusted to, but it happens, and it happens easily. I noticed that I don't hold mine up in my shoulder. I actually hold it down on my lap. And if you can give me a demonstration there, cameraman. When I sit and play Socom, I actually find myself sitting like this and holding it on my lap and then turning like this. It's a lot easier to turn and move at a rested position. And then if I'm ever sniping, I will, if it's an important match or something, I will pull this out. I will stay in my rifle, bam bam, drop my rifle, and then move it back down to my lap position. So the look and the feel is really cool. It's a lot better. The move, the navigation controller makes the gun feel heavier, more realistic. Now, I wish that this actually had a removable stock. I should be able to push in on this and release my butt. Because what you'll notice is as I'm moving around, if I need to move left a little bit, it's getting stuck on my arm over here, when I would have that extra clearance when I needed it to if it was gone. Also, if I'm sitting forward, I'm really into the game, that gets stuck on my chest, and I don't like that. I wish that was gone. I wish I could remove this butt right here. That I've actually thought about clipping it here and modding it myself. Now, when I'm looking right, it's actually getting stuck. The bottom of this is getting stuck on my forearm. And I don't like that either. So I thought about, well, if this was a little bit shorter. But besides that, those are minor complaints. If you actually turn your body slightly, it works just fine. Also, you can narrow down the window. When you're actually looking at the settings of the game, you have a window like this. Right, here's your window, and you can narrow it down. So when you come to the edge of your screen, you don't have to rotate the gun as much. Instead of having to rotate the gun this much to turn, you don't have to rotate the gun that much to turn. Same thing looking up and down. So they give you full controls inside the game, which is really cool. Now, as far as gameplay is concerned, I noticed that the aiming is a lot more precise. I've always been poor at aiming. You know, I got really well. You know, I played better at Socom in the later days because I learned how to move in and out of cover. I learned how to strafe and shoot. That way my body was moving as I was shooting. But I don't have to worry about that no more. I could stand still and win a gunfight more than I'll lose it, just simply because I'll put the cursor right on you instantly. It's just a snap, 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 snap. I've took out 3 guys before, just basically being able to get my cursor right on their head immediately. Because of that, I now choose to use a machine gun when I was normally an assault rifleist. And the reason why is because if I have 3 guys rushing me and I have 75 bullets to 100 bullets in the chamber, I feel confident that I can aim it out and kill all of them rapidly in a standing position. Sometimes I might walk a little bit left to kind of give them a hard time if I need to buy some time to get to that 3rd guy. As far as the movement is concerned, what you gain in aiming, you lose in movement. Now, when I very first picked it up, I couldn't move at all. I was getting killed from every direction. After a while, you learn to kind of move around. Now, I've got my movement back. I'm probably only at 75% of being able to actually move around. I think that's about as good as it's going to get. I'm losing 25% of my skill in moving, but I'm gaining 50% of my skill in aiming. As far as my likes and dislikes, overall, I really like the gun. The gun is a must-have. I don't think I'll ever play Socom 4 on the controller ever unless my peripherals are dead. And when that happens, you will notice a big difference in my gameplay. The dislikes is it needs to have a removable stock. I don't care what they say, this stock needs to be removable. I have long arms and it still gets in my way. I don't plan on standing like this or sitting down like this the whole time, moving my torso. That's going to get tiring, that's going to fatigue you right away. You can probably only withstand maybe a clan match like that. Another dislike I have is they need to have the character on the screen hold his gun in his left hand if I am left-handed, which I am. That is one big complaint. Now, I cannot say when the actual game is released that it's not going to give me the opportunity to move it to left hand, but if it doesn't, it's going to be a huge disappointment. Being a gun owner and actually going out and hunting and using real weapons, you get accustomed to your vision on your left side, and my character should move over to the right side of the screen and throw it on the left side. So that is one complaint I have about it. Overall summary, the shooter is a must-have. I might actually cut this off myself and mod it. If I don't like it, I'll go buy a new one. Besides that, it's very, very, very awesome game. And the sharpshooter really enhances Socom 4. I think this is going to change gaming from this point forward. Of course, the move is changing gaming anyways, but the sharpshooter peripheral is absolutely awesome. One thing I would like to see is them come out with a rifle. That would be really nice. Excellent job again. And that was our tutorial of the sharpshooter, or review of the sharpshooter. I hope you guys all go out and buy it. I hope you enjoy it. Happy hunting, and welcome to Socom 4.